Steve Harvey's dark family secret. The shocking truth about his abandoned children and secret life revealed. You won't believe what I found out about Steve Harvey's family history. His ex-wife speaks out about his role in her former husband's drug operations and his biological children's heartbreaking journey. But that's not all. I have uncovered exclusive information about Steve's relationship with his new wife, Marjorie, and her daughter, Lori. Is this a genuine bond or just for show? Watch now for the truth about Steve Harvey's family situation and be ready to be shocked. Hi everyone, and welcome back to our channel. I keep my eyes on the most scandalous events in show business and always bring you the hottest updates. Today, we're talking about Steve Harvey's complicated family dynamic. According to insiders, the family dynamics are causing chaos, with Steve's biological children Brandi, Karli, Broderick, and Wynton expressing their anger towards their stepmother, Marjorie, and stepsister, Lori. As one insider said, they're driving him crazy. Despite Steve acknowledging his mistakes as a father, his children are finding it hard to forgive him for the situation. But what exactly happened that led to this divide? Steve Harvey is known for his wisdom on parenting and family values. He has often emphasized the importance of being a dad and not just a father. As he writes on Twitter, anyone can be a father, but it takes a special person to be a dad, challenging all the fathers out there to start now. However, recent revelations have put his beliefs to shame. His biological children have accused Marjorie and Lori of manipulating him into being an awful dad who believes that throwing money at problems is the only solution. Unfortunately, this approach is not working, and Steve's neglect is causing drama and chaos within the family. The carefully constructed public facade of the family is now being torn apart due to the internal struggles that have remained hidden from the world for years. The secrets of Steve Harvey's family have been exposed by a recent insider. According to the source, Marjorie, Steve's wife, has been accused of being controlling and demanding, expecting everyone in their blended family to follow her lead. While Steve has adopted Marjorie's children and treats them as his own, there is a lot of tension and conflict within the family, and the reasons for this are shocking. Steve's twin daughters and two sons are reportedly fed up with the attention their half-sister Lori receives from their father. Despite Steve being known to frequently talk about Lori during interviews, his other children feel neglected and overlooked. The reasons for their feelings may go back to Steve's past, where he left his first and second families behind to focus on his career. Broderick, his son from his first marriage, had to actively pursue a relationship with his father at age 16, while Lori, who is not biologically related to Steve, enjoyed special treatment and conversations about dating and men. These discrepancies could be contributing to the jealousy and animosity within the Harvey family. The extent of Steve's favoritism towards Lori and Marjorie's children has caused resentment among his other kids, who feel neglected and unloved. As a commenter pointed out, to be honest, I thought Lori was Steve's daughter. His morning show, he always talked about Lori and praised her and her mom. I didn't know Lori had an older sister and brother. This apparent preference for Lori and Marjorie's children over his own is made even more hurtful by the fact that Steve was absent during his other children's formative years, only trying to build a relationship with them when it suited him. Despite Steve's attempts to give his other children some attention and recognition, such as promoting their businesses and making Brandi the head of his foundation, it's clear that he is more invested in Lori and Marjorie's children. This has created a rift within the blended Harvey family, with Marjorie being accused of being a controlling influence and driving a wedge between Steve and his other children. It remains to be seen if Steve will address these issues and make an effort to repair the damage caused by his neglect and favoritism. Upon initial observation, it may seem reasonable that Lori wanted to become a socialite with significant influence, so being with a renowned figure like Steve could provide her a jumpstart in her career. Additionally, living under the same roof made it easier for them to develop a closer relationship. And let's not forget the stereotype of parents favoring the youngest child, which Lori fits. However, there's a deeper layer to this story, as pointed out by this user. As a child from a step-parent home, it's the worst for many. The new mom, of course, manipulates and controls based upon her children. Goodness, don't let them have children together. It's a real situation. Then a constant. Struggle my brother and I, gave up and become successful adults. Another user agreed with my view and said, he loves Lori because he loves Lori's mother. His wife makes sure Lori is spoiled. And his number one, Steve is blind to any flaws in Lori, and Marjorie holds all the power in their relationship. Despite the messy dynamic, I find myself nodding along because Steve neglected and physically abused his children, particularly Wynton, before he gained wealth. Wynton's mother, Mary, had to confront Steve about one particularly disturbing incident, despite having a court-ordered gag order following her bitter divorce from Steve. The police report states that Wynton was beaten on his buttocks and thighs, causing him to have difficulty urinating for several days. Despite this, Steve was never formally accused of the abuse, nor did the Texas Department of Family and Protective Services remove Wynton from his custody. However, in 2013, Mary named Steve as the person who had abused Wynton after a disagreement. It's worth noting that Lori's mother, Marjorie Harvey, has a questionable past. She was investigated by both the FBI and the DA for her alleged involvement in her former husband Jim Townsend's drug trafficking operations. Although Marjorie was never charged with a crime, Jim claims that she played a significant role in his illegal activities and could be held liable. Jim said, "I have no allegiance to Marjorie. She showed her hand. I'm going to tell my story. It doesn't matter if she knows about it." What's more, Marjorie's divorce from Jim raises eyebrows. She divorced him just 5 years into his life imprisonment, and some years later, she gave birth to Lori. While Morgan and Jason are Jim's children, Lori is not. There is over a 20-year age difference between Lori and Jim. Given Marjorie's history and the circumstances of Lori's birth, it's possible that she may be more involved in the family's business affairs than people realize. Some even suggest that she may be calling the shots behind the scenes. Despite rumors that Lori and Steve's relationship is purely for show, evidence suggests otherwise. For instance, in 2019, Lori was arrested for crashing her Mercedes SUV into another car while texting and driving. The situation was so severe that her car flipped over, and bystanders feared it was a hate attack. Shortly before her arrest, Lori fast-timed Steve, indicating a genuine bond between them. Moreover, when Lori began dating rapper Future, Steve intervened and made sure they broke up. He was concerned that Future, who has a reputation for being promiscuous and involved in illegal activities, would hurt Lori. Steve's actions demonstrate that his love for Lori is not just a publicity stunt. However, Marjorie's past caught up with her when she violated a court-ordered gag order and was arrested for contempt of court. In contrast, Steve was acquitted of the charges against him, which seemed shady to some. Jim's claims about Marjorie's involvement in his drug trafficking operations add further weight to the notion that she may have some skeletons in her closet. Karli and Brandi, who are now 40 years old, have never had the chance to experience a close relationship with their father. It is easy to imagine how hurt and angry they must feel about missing out on that formative relationship. Some people might say that Steve abandoned his children so he could make Lori rich, but this is never okay. A user on the blog shared this sentiment and said, "I don't care what anyone says. If, as a child, you had a parent who was primarily absent in your life, only to grow up and watch this parent extend a level of love and attention you never received to someone else, I don't care what anyone says, it hurts." Steve may be trying to vicariously make up for his wrongs to his biological children through Lori, but it sure as hell doesn't mean it's been easy for his biological children to watch. But how is Steve handling all of this craziness? Well, according to The Insider, Steve's way of dealing with the situation is to throw money at his children, buy them gifts, or simply retreat to another room to smoke a cigar. However, this approach does not seem to be working, and it is unlikely to work. The question remains, who needs to make the adjustment here? Should Karli, Brandi, Broderick, and Wynton just move on? Or is it Steve, Marjorie, and Lori who need to do the adjusting? Is a difficult question to answer. On the one hand, Steve has clearly made mistakes and hurt his children in the past. On the other hand, he seems to genuinely care about Lori and wants to be a part of her life. It is a complex situation that may require forgiveness and compromise on both sides. Well, that's all for today. Thank you for watching. I promise to be back very soon with a new portion of gossip about your favorite celebrities,